makes it bigger flakes, but we made them small arrowheads.
Here, follow this long ridge here. So that leaves me with this large, so I remove this flake here off this face, but that leaves me with a large spot below my center line. That's important for platforms because if you're striking off of this face, you can't get at it if your platform is above your center line because it's closer to the top face than the bottom face. So by having this platform right here, below the imaginary center line of my piece, it allows me to peel a flake off across the surface. Hopefully. That's the idea, at least, right? And it always goes exactly how you want it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to strike this platform right here and try and... I'm actually going to hit a little bit off of the edge here. I'm not going to strike on the very edge. I'm going to hit up a little bit and try and cut across and maybe go across to it.
You said it goes exactly as you want it to.
I was lying. That was a complete chance. So here. Platform, below center line, struck into the mass of the stone. Maybe start flipping. Feel free to ask any questions at any time. Don't even.
Do you always work out in front of yourself, or do you use the pad?
In certain situations, I'll slide it on the pad when it needs what's called platform support, which is exactly what it sounds like. You support where you're striking. And a lot of people do it, but I don't like the feel. I like being able to feel the rock in my hand, and it gives you an extra axis of mobility.
I'd rather hold it out in front of myself.
Yeah, I agree.
You see everybody on YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
On their leg.
Yeah, I did it like this for a long time when I started learning, and then I tried it in the hand, and it was instantly like, wow, that's way easier.
If you have that on your leg, does that kind of keep it from flaking as far across sometimes?
It does the opposite actually.
Help support it?
If I were to just hit this here, this flake would maybe travel outside. But by supporting it, the shock wave of the flake will travel, and I'm literally like pushing on this. I'm redirecting that flake. And as long as the surface or the ridge that I'm following is convex, no concavities. A concavity will create problems for you. As long as that is convex and you're squeezing with the right pressure and you do everything perfectly right, then it will extend that flake. That's how I got this to shoot across. So I'm going to see if I can...
You want to just pass around for people to look at?
Yeah, you want me to do that? You want to pass around? Okay. So I'm going to try and remove the flake here last.
Yeah.
I'm going to use these ridges left behind to try and remove some additional flakes from that
I
face.
think that's even better than across.
I've sat with the best of the modern flint knappers that were the first ones to start flint knapping. You know, because it was a lost art. What the ancient man did with flint survival, you know. So I have a lot of people come up and say, you know, like, we got some problem rocks. You know, stuff that's like, and people won't buy it because it has, you know, it doesn't look like anything. My job is to teach people how to make something out of these bad looking pieces, flat, you know, squared edges. And Chris is going to do some. I've been asked, so what I wanted to do today was show some reduction, pieces like this, basal thinning, and what do you say, platforms? Flaking. Okay. Which this piece will be the best for that. So we'll use that. We'll start basal thinning with this. And I want to start with this, and I don't know what Chris is going to do, but when he gets here, I'm going to step out. So first thing I do, I don't wear gloves either. Sometimes I always do in the quarry because I'm swinging an 1.5 inch, 8-inch long piece of copper rod or a copper hammer. and I'm swinging for the fence. You know, I'm trying to hit a home run. The thing of it is, you got to swing hard because the flint's hard until you get it heat treated. So this is just a piece I took out of a bucket, and everybody's like, I can't do anything with that. So it's pretty simple. So I always tell everybody, don't start on the flat side. There's a flake that you could take right there. All beginners, and even guys that's been napping a long time, they want to pick the cherries off the low portions of the limb before you can go up to the topping where the good cherries are at. That's just a metaphor. But so we got big square edge. You can't hit anything 90 degrees or this way. It's got to be back 90 degrees, which this is. But you can't hit into a concavity. Flakes will not run. There's a concavity. There's a concavity. The only flake here is this, and I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I want to knock this off. We got problem here. You know, we got square edge. A lot of square edge. We're going to tackle this first. So I use copper boppers, lead-filled caps. I got solid copper. I'm going to get a little bit of everything. I think I will do this real quick first. You want to come here and help me? Come on over here. Hold this flake like that. We're going to cut this. Go ahead and cut it. Pretty easy. You're not done yet. This is how I like to nap. Just wrap my fingers. Yes, you bleed a lot. Did Andrew talk about Band-Aids? Did talk about safety glasses?
He actually he demonstrated bleeding for us.
So the thing of it is right where I'm taping is usually where you get cut. In the quarry, you get cut either in your toes, through your boots, or right in here. So I use double palm leather gloves, and I'll do one more. And then and leather gloves are, it's funny because you always wear the left hand out if you're right-handed, and then I got all these right-handed gloves, and I said, what am I going to do with these?
I know the one-armed guy.
Pretty sharp, ain't it? Thank you. What's your name? Jeremiah, thank you very kindly.
What kind of paddles do you have on your...
That's a blood blister. That was a blood blister. So I had a big block of flint. I had my copper hammer, and I pinched right there with a glove on, and it hurt like crazy. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not going to look at it.
What did you say?
Ouch! I should have said it different. I always tell everybody I said a 4-letter word. What'd you say? What'd you say? I said, ouch. So I didn't look at it. When I looked at it, it was just about the size of a quarter and about yay high. And I was like, well, that's the biggest one I've ever had. So I just took my razor knife and I lanced it, drained the blood out. And then some guy goes, "Were you bleeding?" I said, "Well, I was." You never pop a burn blister, but you pop a blood blister. That's the way I was always taught. So anyway, let's get back to work. So we want to run ridges. This is a very steep ridge. So to make a platform for this, I always tell people, short flake, a little longer flake, and the no man's zone. But to make platforms, we go to the negative side. There's nothing here I can hit. If I hit that, it crushes. So I'm going to tilt it up. Basically, I'm just going to go straight down, but I'm going to hit about right there. That's pretty good. So now, then I trim. Don't want that razor sharp edge there. I want it dulled a little bit. Use all my tools. This happens when he comes to nap. He'll forget half the stuff. Can I borrow this? See how I'm doing that? I'm grinding down. I want that dull. And I always grind across. The reason I grind across is I want scratch marks in there. Now I'm not going to hit right here on the end. I want to hit up in here a little farther. I want to hit somewhere in that spit. Now I'm going to stick it on the opposite side of my leg, and I'm going to put some leather behind me. I don't want it down like this. I want it about right there, and I'm just going to swing down as hard as I can. There's Chris. Like I said, you're getting 2 for the price of 1 today. Actually, it's 2 for free. So we're going to see if we can take this big old, some of that mountain off of there. I want to hit down in this edge, but I don't hit like a hammer. I try to hit down on it. We were trained to swing a hammer, right? this is what I see people doing, and it doesn't work. So you gotta, it's a rotation. We took some of it off. Now now I have two platforms. Got one in here. I got one in here. I'm going to clean this rock up and then I'm going to let you roll.
Do your thing, buddy. Do your thing.
A little sharp right there. You don't want to drive sharp into your hand. That's why it should wear a glove. But missed. That's what we call a crushed platform. But I'm not worried about it. We're early on. And then, so I'm keep chasing this ridge. So I keep. You see how I changed the angle? Now I've got this bevel in here. Now I'm going to take and rounded it out, strike it a little bit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to lay it flat. I want to lay it right on this ridge. So, and it's like I tell everybody, it's like aiming a gun. You know, you can't look down the barrel and look over here like this. So you want to. This is all in line right here. This is all my. I'm not out here like this. I'm here comfortable with kind of arms in here. You don't have to tuck tight, but just keep it in here. You don't want the flying elbow. Feel free to ask any questions at any time. If I don't answer right away, it's because I'm concentrating. Not really. Still sharp back there. So we can chase, so every time you take a shot, you get two more ridges. One flake goes out and spreads out, so there's a ridge here, a ridge here. So, like I said, we're like Indians, we're creeping up on them. But I'm not even thinking about this face here at all.
You ever struggle with Indian shorts?
With any what?
Indian shorts?
Indian
They
shorts?
creep up on you?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go there, so I'm glad you did. So well, now I'm going to stop because I think, you know, we're going to come back this way. I'm going to just sit there and I'm going to clip right there down and it'll put the platform in there. But I don't do it here. I'm going to do it right here on my leg. See how I'm tipping up a little bit?
Yeah. That's got
Trimming off that little, we call it flashing. See how I changed the angle? Now I've got something less than 90 degrees I can swing and hit on. I'll do something right here. Took that little flake out to make a solid ridge all the way across, okay? Now, something I just saw, this ridge comes up and then it dips back down and flattens out. So if I don't do it right, my flake will die right there. That's going to cause more problems. So I'm going to come back on this side and run a shorter flake. If I want a shorter flake, I'd keep it up here a little higher. Feathers out. Now I can come back and do some damage coming back this way.
So you run that shorter flake before the longer flake?
I just did it because I had this thing come down and dove back up.
Gotcha.
See, it still did a little bit right there. It stopped.
But it didn't stare or
It
set
didn't.
the
No,
fracture as
no,
bad.
it just kind of feathered
Okay.
up.
Didn't hinge.
Did not hinge. Thank you. So what I've done, now I've made I'm following these square edges. This is one way you can get them off. I better not freehand it. I'm still keeping decent width. Here's the other thing. We're getting face thin. How many guys have problems getting face thin?
Me.
Well, we're going to work on that today. We got some time. So I'm trimming, but I'm thinking about what I'm going to do on this side, just because I'm trimming. See, I put a ridge right there. So I took a flake here and a flake here, and I put a prominent ridge right there. And I'm So I go around and do, see how I'm tipping that up? Here. And don't, everybody likes to hit too far. You just got to learn, take these little nibbles. So you see I got 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms ready to go. So I'm gonna go through and get them prepped.
But to use a heavy enough bobber so you don't have to swing like crazy to get them off.
I like to swing fast, but if I'm taking reduction flakes off, I'll use something heavier. And as it starts getting thinner and thinner, I start gearing down to smaller tools. It's like if you're doing finish nails, are you gonna use a framing hammer? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've seen it done before, but if you're not good, you leave bad marks.
Yeah, get those on.
Now I'm going to take one underneath. It's just a cleaning flake. It's like, anybody play chess or even checkers? Got to think moves ahead. All right. We're going to go back here to number 1. And I'm looking at it. I'm not peeking. I'm just looking because I want my finger on that ridge. I want my fingers up here so I got support. Putting it on my hand like, or my leg like this, it just helps stabilize. I do a lot of freehand for the sake of a demo. That's what we call a good miss. I missed to the left. I'm thinking my glasses might be needing changed. So if you have a good, strong, prominent platform and you miss it, doesn't really hurt you. Unless you hit way too high. The old guy taught me a lot about flint knapping. He says, "There's my platform right here. Can y'all see that ridge? This is what happens when you have an isolated platform. You have this much area to miss." I'm trying to control it more for myself. And if it sticks out, see all that? I have room for error. Hopefully I don't err like I did the first time, but it still saved me. All the way across. The platform hanging down, isolated, and the angle I used and the strike I hit, it takes it all the way across. And this is the time you have to do this. You can't do it when it's paper thin or anything. This is reduction flakes. There's a good arrowhead in that one.
Good knife right there.
Yep. So now I'm gonna keep bouncing. I'm gonna go up here. Something else I like to do is I don't work. Everybody wants to take the easy flakes out of the center. Go back to the base, go up to the tip. Go back to the base, go to the tip. Take 1 or 2 small ones out. Save the center for last. Because if not, so when a power lifter lifts the big barbells up, those bars bend. When you get all your weight out here and all your weight out here, and you think, wow, look at all these flakes I've taken off the middle. And then you start to hit, you're going to bend that preform and it's going to break every time. All right, we're going to move on. Less talk, more work. No questions yet?
What you were just saying there was to thin the ends and save the middle.
Yeah, so
Tip and base.
see, I already got this. Remember how thick this was? It come up real high. I see how much I've got it thinned already, and now I'm working up here. I'm still not worried about taking anything out of here yet. We shot a big one across here. Still got an edge here, and I'm creeping down that edge right now. So I'm gonna go do a little freehand. See how I'm holding it, but I'm swinging out in the way. I call it billet English. Sometimes you have to control the billet you're working with.
So to keep that middle slick so you don't break the point when you have to hit the end.
It's like an intentional hook or slice
Yep.
on your golf swing.
Or if you ever shot pool,
Yeah.
put English on the cue ball. Kind of what I did right there. I'm kind of striking out in the way. I want to follow that ridge. I'm going to do it one more time. Did a couple things. It took more here. It took some out of the center for me. Now, I'm up here on this tip. Now I'm up on the tip. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to break. I'm pressing down right here. Not hard. And I look where my fingers at in the back. So I got 3 points here. All the way across. So I'm getting this side. Remember how high this side come up and down? And see, I'm not worried about stuff like this. I'm trying to control the rock to how I know what it needs to go. So we're going to do one here. I'm going to take this off. Little there, but that's okay. I tell everybody follow your ridges, but sooner or later, if you follow your ridges, you're going to end up with the same looking piece you started with. So sometime you have to start shaping, and, you know, trying to get a shape going, which I'm going to work on now. I'm up here, I've determined this is going to be my base. This will be my tip area up in here, so.
Yeah, not too bad.
What you say, Ed?
Good deal.
Two heads are better than one.
Especially when they get together.
That's right.
Here's what I'm planning to. Yep.
So as we get to this edge, don't hit this. You want to hit here, because you still gotta try to keep some type of a center line down through here. So I'll take my billet.
Oh, belongs
Use
that
this
long
edge.
what a minute read it is. Yeah. So who it's exactly for me on October?
Pretty much this edge is gone. Back to the base.
Let me
Come back up to the tip. Leave that go. We want to hit the easy flakes. I'm just trying to show you how you can take a bad
Okay,
piece.
got it. Yep. Well planned on that.
See how I'm working these bad areas, these straight edges? I'm not trying to go into them. I'm starting and working my way to them. Back and forth, back and forth. Just gotta, and I tell a lot of guys, I said, you just gotta slow down. I know I make it look fast because I've done it so long, but that's quite a bit different than when we first started, isn't it? And what have I taken? 1, 2, 3 little flakes off this backside. We still got problems there, but I'm not worried about them yet. So I'm still up here on this tip. Now I'm gonna take smaller flakes, less swing. So my flakes are going well past this center dorsal ridge right here. Chris, you want to do basic then?
Yeah, I'll do it. You can go around the square edges and move it.
Okay. 2 small flakes. Look at my tip. How my tip's already coming in. Just kind of chip, chip, chip. I like my platforms just under or right at the center line area. In this stage, it's not catastrophic if it's perfect, but I don't want them real high, like that one was, because I'm still working with ridges. Now, you'd say, well, they're not as big as they were. No, they're not. And I'm not grinding as hard. Hear it? You can hear the ring of the abrader. I'm sanding it smooth. I want it smooth.
Couldn't handle that. Too much work into everything to have.
Yo, how you doing, buddy?
Here's the other trick. To get these patterns, you guys, like Kenny used one. I see so many guys and they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I'm doing. Chris, you can show them how 3 flakes will flatten out the center, can't you?
Yep.
Okay. And then you can come over and I can do something with isolated platforms, but these are still isolated.
Walking the dog.
You're walking the dog, yep.
Ed, I have a question.
Yep.
Abrading, is it just to give the rock some friction for the cropper to land on like I think it is, or is it something different?
Okay, watch what happens. Okay, just watch what comes off this abrader when I go. Let me get set up here. I want take this flake off this way. Now watch what happens when I go straight down. Watch the stuff that comes off. See those little micro fragments? Did you see them come off?
Sure.
It's not. It's some of it's the dust off the abrasive, but some of the white stuff is this. So what happens is I'm strengthening it underneath, right in here, because if every time we take something off, there's a little scallop in here. Sometimes I'll go back and watch this. Look at the stuff come off my thumb, and I always cross. So we're doing this to strengthen it and tighten it up some, so it's not, because you're hitting it fast and hard, and if it's not sharp enough, it crushes. Remember the one that crushed up there on the nose when I first started? It wasn't tight, it wasn't ground enough.
So the energy will go into crushing the tip of the
If it's not ground, so what happens is that for a millisecond, when that billet strikes, it has to be strong enough to hold it, and that lets that energy from the weight and the speed release out into the preform and take the flake off.
If you look at it in slow motion, that rock actually bends.
Yes.
Right before it breaks, it tears the flake off. You
Now-
gotta grind it to get back to the meat of the stone, and it works like chalking a acoustic and get something for your tool to grab a hold of.
grip.
So, been up there on the tip pretty good. I like it. I got this problem here. So now we're going to chase the other side. We say, well, it's still thick here. Well, I want it thick out here. I'm thin here, and I'm getting thin here. So, now, and see, there's a big concavity. I don't know if we'll get it all cleaned up, but I got to keep moving. So Chris has some time. See how I'm holding this down on my leg? If it starts bouncing and you don't have your finger back here, it's a diving board effect. Shock waves ripple through and they amplify, and then it finds the weak spot and snaps it in half or snaps the tip off. I can tell you there's such a cavity out there.
Oh, that, yeah.
I'd take a pencil and I'll squiggle this across with lines to tell a beginner that's no man's land. You don't put anything out there. But it's not going to look right. It will when you save your problems to the last. If you put in a big step fracture or something, first thing we think is, I got to get that out of there. That looks bad. Then you're going to amplify it. You're going to start to put the second problem and then the third problem. You just got to keep walking around the edges
That's
and
me.
leave it go.
That's me.
Just leave it go. I'm going to do a little bit more, Chris, and I'll turn it over to you. Yeah. It's easy to talk for me, but then I forget concentration. What was I doing? That was a good flake. That was a good flake. What happened is I got in under that, because it only goes down so deep. There's still a pretty good concavity in there, so don't try to come up here and take big bites. What'd your mother tell you about taking big bites? Nobody? Mother's never taught you about taking big bites when you're eating? Sure. Yeah, that's what'll happen. You'll choke his point down and you'll just break it. So. Geez, it's starting to look like a leaf blade now. Sometimes I impress myself. Laugh, and I do. I was like, wow, I did that. See right there.
Legend
A lot
in
of
your own
times,
mind.
a lot of times you think, oh, there's another one. It's to take a hit, or if you, let's say you miss it, or you hear a little crack, don't swing again. You always stop and make sure you've got a good platform. See right there, I almost swung again. Almost didn't practice what I'm preaching. Oh, there's a step fracture. Well, it's going to come off in a couple more flakes.
You get off where we see it.
No, I leave it on there.
So how low or how flat is too flat for a platform to strike on? 'Cause that's
I
the
don't
trouble
care
with
if they're,
that, too.
okay, here's the thing. If they're low, you don't want to hit the very tip of them. You want to hit up on them of a 1/16 or an eighth of an inch.
Okay.
Just a little. Now I'm going to come over here, try to fix the boo-boo I put in there. Yeah, I got it. Flake went past the center, went right to the center dorsal fin.
Is that a fish?
Back to the base. Let's see a thick spot. Shooting here. Guess where I'm ending up? Look at my ends versus my center, guys. That's why you work base tip, you know. I bounced around a lot, but guess what? Look how thick I am in the center. If I was this thin or this thin in the center and this thick on ends, next couple hits, you're gonna risk breaking every time. Every time. And see, when you have a heavier piece, that's why it's important to learn how to take the biggest flake possible. You see me going clear across. That's taking off the mass. And I didn't take 8 in a row, a couple here, a couple there. That gives more room for that flake to fan out and take off, get underneath that mass and carry. See, I wasn't trying to drive a big long flake. I was just, these are what we call feathering flakes. Pull back a little bit. So I'm moving now. This is a classic. This is a delta right here. If I was to hit right in the center of that delta, the flake is going to step fracture right there. It does it in pressure flaking. It does it in percussive. So what I do is I work both sides and close the gap a little bit more. Now I've got a ridge right now.
The other issue I run into.
Get them little hangnails out there. That's why you come to these. I did a little work here so I could isolate right there. Feathered out flat and smooth. A few more hits. Chris is going to help you. See, so not every flake I'm hitting, I'm trying to run a mile out there. I'm just trying to, I've got a nice leaf shape. See, here's a classic example. There's, the ridge is here, going out the center, but I have no platform, no ridge to hook it into. So I'm going to, see me closing the gap? Yep.
Try and isolate it to one ridge.
You have to. Right now, I could probably sneak it, but it might take too much. So I'm not going to. This is what the part you have to control. You have to have the discipline to. Andrew, the guy that's here, the beginning napping, he's good at that, but I had to slow him way down. Grinding him, grinding him, grinding him, grinding him. I'm like, God, kid's trying to quit. So it's hard to get him slowed down. He's getting it though. All right, I got enough platform right there.
That also helps with your flaking pattern too.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a couple more. 30 miss hits is better than 1 bad hit. So if you miss, don't worry about it. And you have more control holding on your leg like this. You can have more control. But I grew up out of control, so I'm just used to. I used to hitting it on my left, hitting freehand.
Freehander too.
There, I'm done. Pass it around, take a look at it. I'm going to introduce my protege. We've been napping as long 30 plus years. This is Chris Miller. He just lives north of me up by Lexington, Ohio, and I'm from Mount Vernon, Ohio. Now, for anybody that started when they, raise your hand if you was here when I started that piece. Did you think that was in there?
Didn't look
It didn't look like it, did it? So when you get don't be afraid to take a piece that's got some challenge, because if you don't challenge yourself and practice on these,
Never learn.
hey, there's a lot of $2 and $3, $4 pieces of Keokuk floating around that you can do that same thing with. So challenge reduction. That's what I try to teach everybody. Give yourself some reduction time. All right, Chris, take it away.
Hey.